saja. Alright. Assalamualaikum and very good morning to our speaker and viewers tonight. Welcome to our Facebook Live Forum. You can view and access from our Facebook page, Marathon Malaysia League Run Community page. The topic tonight, as you see on the poster, the first Malaysian Marathon League, and I believe this is the first running league in Malaysia. Okay, to all speakers, this forum, the format of this forum, moderator with me, will be raise the subject, then each speaker is given 5 minutes to elaborate on it. On the question that I give to all the speakers. So, pandemic is very affecting us, especially in the mass running sports events. Any question from the viewers can be sent through the chat box, and our admin will read your question, and any question that you address to our speaker, please mention on the chat box. I would like to introduce our first speaker, Mr. Muregesu Soosaimany, Honorary Secretary of Federal Territory Kuala Lumpur Athletic Association, the sanctioning body of all the running events in Kuala Lumpur. Mr. Muru has been involved in athletic development with athletic for the 36 years. It's very long and a lot of experience. Sir, how are you, sir?
Oh, fine. Thank you, Virus. How are you all?
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you for spending your time with us tonight. Then our second speaker, the handsome speaker, you can see, with the orange. I think it's on for the Northern Athlete teams. Our Mr. Benjamin Yeow, CEO, Chief Executive Officer of CheckpointSpot, the leading sports timing and technology provider. CheckpointSpot is leading for the event registrations and the race timing in Malaysia and the region. How are you, Mr. Ben?
Okay, great. Thanks, Virus.
Thank you. So the third speaker, which is I can say, is very experienced and also the podium runners, Mr. Zulfadhli Zahir, or as known in the media social as a Jobak. The glamorous name is Jobak, running and fitness coach. Running buddies also to our Ministry of Finance, and he also participated in Berlin Marathon and Chicago Marathon. The personal best time, the full marathon is 3 hours, 1 minute and 3 seconds, and also he's the second runner-up for the half marathon Putrajaya night marathon, and he also call it Adidas creator. How are you, Mr. Zulfadhli?
Alhamdulillah, thank you for having me tonight.
Okay, thank you everybody. All is in a good and healthy. We go to our first speaker, Mr. Muru.
Yes, Virus.
It's almost the year. How the pandemic is felt by the industry?
Oh, good question, Virus. Originally, when you heard about this COVID, we on our part were thinking it's just an ordinary flu. It will come and then it will go off. But we did not expect it to hit our running industry just like that. Okay? And total lockdown was suddenly announced since March 2020. And there's no time for any of the industries to react. Even our planned events, planned runs, and other athletic meets will all have to be cancelled. And it was a total chaos. And estimated an industry worth around 400 to 500 million has to be a sudden halt. All stakeholders, including our athletic association, even companies, service providers like CheckpointSpot, and also the runners are greatly impacted on this because of this COVID. SMEs who form the majority of the industries with athletic associations are most vulnerable to prolonged lockdown. But of late, there was a slight relief. Individual outdoor runnings were allowed under strict SOP. However, it's the same. No competitive runs were given permission to carry on. For the running community, other than the association, it's more of a mental and a physical challenge. Since we began social distancing to slow the spread of the virus, many of our normal running routines, including daily workouts with friends and competing in races, have been temporarily thrown out of the window. Okay? This has taken a toll on the people's physical and mental well-being. People have to improvise and maintain their sanity. So we can see from the many viral videos during the pandemic, the beginning of the pandemic, the runners, they can't, they are like tied down. They have to do some kind of activities, so they only do it in the treadmill, or they'll be running from the hall to the kitchen and here and back throughout the whole lockdown period.
Yeah, Mr. Muru.
Yes,
a very effect to our industry is unseen. Okay, to our second speaker, Mr. Muru spoke about the effect on the companies on that. How does effect on the CPS? Is government doing anything to assist? How do you think will affect the market moving forward with the vaccination starting? Mr. Ben?
I think Mr. Muro is right. The pandemic actually caught the entire industry off guard, right? Of course, CheckpointSpot, we were affected as well, right? We were actually was very busy in the month of January, February, but suddenly come March, it was a total overnight lockdown, right? Obviously, we were caught off guarded, right? But having said that, I think CheckpointSpot, our company by itself, one thing I like to say is that our DNA is actually quite great, right? We were actually fast to adapt. We took steps to actually minimize our, costs and operating costs and stuff like that. Because as we see, when it hit suddenly, right? And of course, not to mention, we also have great shareholders. They were behind us all the way, right? So they were actually ready to come in and support us in any situation that we are in. But fortunately, we have not reached the stage where, we are really in ICU, like I call it that way, right?
Yeah.
If you ask me about how the authority or the government is helping us, right? We had to put in perspective, right? This industry itself, it's roughly about 500 million ringgit kind of industry. It's big, right? I think this earlier this morning, I had a meeting with the industry people, right? We were saying that the entire industry actually hires around maybe 300,000-400,000 people, yeah, in a year, right? So it's a huge industry. We contribute a lot to the economy, right? I personally, if you ask me, I think not much has been done, especially to the running sports, right? Basically, my thinking is because I think the industry lacks of a strong lobby group, right? We are quite fragmented. We are not as commercialized as some other sports where they have, associations, group lobbying, for the opening of the industry, which we do not, right? But having said that, I think the industry is coming together. Earlier today itself, we had a meeting with more than 100 over companies in a coalition, right? We are bringing forward proposals to the ministry, right? Hopefully, we will be able to see how we could gradually open up the industry. Of course, we are also wary of the potential threat of the pandemic, the virus, right? Although vaccination has just started in Malaysia, I think we are at a very, very early stage, right? Of course, if you read in the news, politicians will tell you, oh, within a year, we will get the whole country vaccinated, right? But we have to monitor the number closely, right? At the current rate, are we able to even achieve what we aspire to achieve, right? Hopefully, of course, when we reach certain level of 50-60% vaccination, I think the industry will gradually open up eventually. Yeah.
So everybody is hoping up the industry will open again, mostly on the mass event, but on the mass running events. So we go to our third speaker, Mr. Zulfadhli. How is a runner coping during the lockdown? Is everyone eager to run now? If there is an event now, or any concern to join event now, Mr. Zulfadhli?
I think in my circle of running, most of the runners are still what do you call it, is motivated. It's not like totally shut down, they stop doing it. You can see people are still running. Once the park is open, everyone went there, and those with treadmill were still running, and we are still hoping that one day everything will come back to like previous. And with the new norm, with the what do you call it, virtual run, those kind of thing, I think we have to adapt. We have to rather than saying that, oh, we miss those days, maybe we can adapt, start doing whatever we will go towards in the future.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Zulfadhli or Jobab. Actually, I like to call you Jobab actually, but we have.
Problem.
Right. Okay, Mr. Zulfadhli. So for the viewers out there, you can still send any question to our speaker because this is the first round. And then I would like to announce here, for the most sharer of this live, we'll get our giveaway, which is 2 hampers from our sponsors, High Five. So just stay tuned until the end because we just finished the first round of the forum. So we straightforward go to the second round. We have a 3 rounds, so we already finished the first round. Okay, goes back to our first speaker, Mr. Muru.
Yes, Fairuz.
Since Rena spoke about the virtual run, Mr. Zul already spoke about the virtual run. Is it very different type of event from what FTKLAA traditionally handle? How does FTKLAA manage it? Mr. Muru?
They have no choice. FTKLA have got no choice now because we cannot hold any competitions. At the same time, we cannot hold the runners from doing their daily activities. Like what Mr. Zol said, the moment the government announced that it is now they can do their jogging in the park, you should see the number of people running with the mask, around. Even though they have no choice, they have to follow the SOP strictly. But on our part, on the association part, on the sanctioning body part, the biggest problem with this virtual run is we cannot validate the results. I know there are a lot of visual runs are going on with a certain distance being spelled out. As an athletic sanction body, there are limitations on us to accept such a run because of a lot of questions are very, very subjective, like the distance. The accuracy of the distance may not be right, and then the accuracy of the devices they use to measure will not be the same. And then the runner itself, when we organize our normal runs, we'll see a man running for a woman under woman category, and then they'll finish. So when this kind of virtual runs, when we organize, if it is a friendly event without any competition, it's not an issue. But once if it's a competition, we don't know whether all these three things are correct. So with this non-validated results, at the best, the virtual run is just an informal event with results. Having said that, see, virtual run is a good training platform for runners, especially in the lockdown environment like now. So they will be doing this to get better exercise and then prepare for the future upcoming runs, which we hope will be very soon happening.
Yeah, we hope so. They will opening soon. Okay, Mr. Ben, do you see an increase in virtual run in Malaysia? How is the industry player catering on it? Can you elaborate more on this, Mr. Ben?
Basically, I mean, CheckpointSpot, we have been around since 2015, right? We provide end-to-end race solution to major running events in Malaysia and across the region. We do services like event registration, participant management, race pack collection, and even race timing services, right? What I can tell you is, as far as virtual run is concerned, in Malaysia, we lose out in comparison to our regional peers, right? Virtual run is not very popular, right, in Malaysia, right? That is pre-pandemic, yeah, before pandemic time, of course. Yeah, of course, one of the reasons is there are just too many physical events in Malaysia, right? During the normal time, runners are spoiled with choices, right? They have about 4 to 8 races to choose every weekend. I mean, why would you want to run on a virtual run, right? So it wasn't really a hot thing in Malaysia, right? But we have actually noticed for the last 8 months, things have grown, right? Number of events has grown quite a lot. In the past, in a virtual run, the organizer couldn't even get 30 to 50 participants, right? When they open up a virtual run. Today, the numbers are 10-folds, 20-folds, right? So we can see people are adapting to the new norm, right? We are starting to even see good big organizers who organize well-known events, right? Serious event in Malaysia, physical events. Right now, they are converting into virtual run, virtual edition, right? And all of them have actually received quite a good success as far as response are concerned. So we are beginning to see a shift in the mindset of Malaysian, right? It's basically also partly, I think, it is due, I mean, we have discovered this segment of people who probably want to run at their own time, at their own space. This is a market which was never catered to previously. And I think this market will still remain when, even when post-pandemic, right? I will also feel that, of course, one of the biggest challenge of virtual run is virtual run, we need to shed the image that this event is organized just for the purpose of selling t-shirt, selling medals. I mean, that is the perception, right? We got to face it, right? That's why you see most of the organizers of virtual run, what they do is you register for the event. After that, whether you run or you submit your results, right? You just email to them, right? So a lot of people are wondering, after I email, I hear no news, right? After I email to the organizer, I hear no news. I see nothing. 2 weeks down the road, I will receive my t-shirt in my mailbox, in the mail, right? I will receive my medal. So that gives it the impression that, well, people are just merely selling t-shirts and medals, right? But for CheckpointSpot, we take sports seriously, right? So our development team actually came out with a very, I call it comprehensive platform for virtual run, right? So today, if you participate in a serious virtual run, although the results cannot be validated like what Mr. Mugu says, right? But you need to submit it online. Our platform can even connect to Strava. For those of you who are running, you use Strava app, right? You can actually connect to it. your results are uploaded. Organizers actually verify to the best of their ability, right? And then from there, once the results are officiated or accepted, there will be leaderboard standing, right? Who are the top runners, how fast they run, and so on, right? So this is as close to a serious run as you can get, right? The only difference is that we cannot validate the results because we are not there physically to see you run, right? But we take virtual runs seriously. And that is why we are beginning to see a lot of serious physical run organizers coming in right now, right? Developing a virtual edition of their run. And they're beginning to get the hang of it. I believe moving forward, even post-pandemic, when physical event comes back, I believe some of the major events will probably still complement with a virtual edition to their physical event. That's how I see the industry is moving towards. Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Ben, it's a long explanation how about the VR. Mr. Zul, do you think runner will join virtual running? After you having here both our speaker talk there, what is the runner perception of VR virtual run, Mr. Zul?
I agree with Ben just now when he said initially people look at virtual run as just like organizer trying to make money from t-shirt and medals, but along the way, since that's the last resort, like there will be no events in the near futures, at least for the next 1 year. People start becoming more interested to join virtual run rather than run for nothing. Let's run for something, And the idea of having leaderboard, having the current result, those things is actually encouraging runners because it creates the competition. Like our crew last month, we actually organized our own virtual run, like weekly challenge via Strava. Nothing serious. So most of our crew will submit through the Strava, and then the shockness of competing with each other.
Yeah.
So we cannot do it on the road, then we do it virtual run.
Okay.
That's I think runner are looking forward to it because we can tell Malaysian are a big Yasu, so we like competition,
You mean the competition, even though in the virtual run, even though in virtual run, they still want to compete, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Zul. So we go back to we already at the second round of the forum with the speaker. So we hope the audience out there can share. Can you do a lot of share of our for our Facebook Live? So maybe you can get the giveaway today, the high five hampers. Because our sponsor we sponsor 2 hampers today for this live Facebook Live session. Okay, we go to our first speaker again, Mr. Muru. Let's get into the interesting parts. Malaysian Marathon League virtual edition is launched during pandemic. Why make this such decision, Mr. Muru?
Okay, Japaro, see, even though they know our runners, they know that it's going to be some time after they are going to do a physical run themselves. They keep calling and checking whether is there any event coming, or how are we going to organize, and then that means we know that our runners are very eager to run. Even though, like what Mr. Zol said, we are trying to adopt to this this virtual run, but I think once if they are allowed to compete, our runners they'll prefer to do a competition. Instead of running at present, they're running alone on their own, just to keep themselves fit. See? So many resort to joining virtual runs due to the lack of physical event. If there are no other activities for them, so they take up this virtual run. And the atmosphere of running a virtual run is you're running alone, and it is without any joining a group. It's either you and your friend or something like that. The adrenaline rush and the feelingness of together is not there, right, in virtual run. Because when you run in a group with your friends, the environment is totally different, you see. So based on that thinking, we decided, okay, why don't we have a national challenge? Even though they are doing a virtual run, they will have the feeling of running together. They have a feeling of running together for their respective state. So this virtual run is a competition by itself, but interstate competition. It's not an individual competition, interstate. So this challenge will bring runners together under their state, whichever, either the state they belong or their state they are born. They now, while they still run individually, but the collective, their mindset of running in the same team and the same cause add to the adrenaline rush. Okay, trying to make their respective state the champion feels competitive for every runner. If the state becomes a champion, they will feel that they are part of the championship. This creates a mindset and atmosphere for as close as possible, like a physical run. It will be a similar, even though it's not the same, but the mindset, they feel that yes, we run together to make my state the champion. Okay? So this is one of the major reasons Malaysia Marathon League. Now I see from whatever year it is getting, the popularity is getting. On the other side, after all these vaccines, we feel, the authority institution feel, with the vaccine in the corner, such competitions will get the athletes be prepared to come up for the physical competition. That's one of the reasons.
Okay, all right, Mr. Muro. It's a very long explanation. Okay, Mr. Ben. Actually, what I heard, the Malaysian Marathon League is initiative by the state athletic association, and then as a service provider for this Malaysian Marathon League, can you explain more about how the Malaysia League, Malaysia Marathon League works, please, Mr. Ben?
Yeah, basically when we were sitting down together with all the respective state athlete association, we tried to pull together a league. I think this is the biggest or largest single virtual run event that anyone has pulled together in Malaysia, right? So basically it is a national challenge. Of course, the entire running of this league itself is actually powered by the solutions that CheckpointSpot has, right? I need to do a bit of commercial promotion here, right? So basically from the time you register, right, until the time that you order your race tee, your official tee, you run, you use your Strava, you connect to the platform, the entire thing until your results come out, you download your e-certificate and the whole works of it are all powered by our in-house Malaysian developed solution. Yeah, so it's a locally developed solution by our team internally. So how this Malaysian Marathon League works is basically it's a 42-kilometer challenge. We break it into two categories. You either run in the category of male or female. Yeah, although it's 42 kilometer, but we don't we stretch it over a few runs, which I will explain in a while. Right. So any participant, you have to choose the states that you want to represent. Right now, there is 13 states plus 1 federal territory. Right. So if you want to run for Labuan, if you want to run for Labuan, Putrajaya, or Kuala Lumpur, right, you can say that you want to represent the team. But when you submit a result, you are submitting your results to the federal territory results or leaderboard. Yeah, so usually people will choose the state that they are born or the state that they are domiciling in. Yeah, so you want to choose a category. Right now, we are at a stage where we are opening up for just registration. Yeah, race haven't started. from 1st to 4th of April, we will open the registration. A lot of states runners are coming in. I can tell you, it is very hot in Sarawak. It is very hot in Penang. You can see from our community discussion, right? The number of people who says which state they are representing, you can see, right? And there are a lot of actually elite runners inside here, right? So everybody is trying to make their state the first national champion, right? Come 5th of April, people will start running, and we break the 42 kilometer into 10.5 kilometer each week. So for example, in race 1, between the date of 5th to 11th April, you need to find one time, one session where you have to complete 10.5 kilometer, right? You can run, you can walk, doesn't matter, right? It is designed for all level of runners, or I call it walkers, right? You want to join, you can join, right? But you do it in one single session. You cannot campur, and then 5 kilometer, 2 kilometer, and all add up 10.5. No, you have to do it one time, right? Second week, you do it again. Third week and fourth week, right? The dates are all shown on the official website, right? Of course, we will send you reminders. We will send emails to all the participants as the date gets nearer. So 10.5 kilometer, you lari 4 kali, you add up, is 42 kilometer, right? So you complete this 42 kilometer. These 4 sessions, you add up, the time that you take cannot be more than 9 hours. Anything more than 9 hours, you are disqualified. Yeah, I think even if you walk, you should be able to complete within 9 hours, right? So there are a lot of questions asking us, can we run sekali? Cannot, right? Everything is 10.5. If you decide to run 12 kilometer, because we got a lot of great runners, and they say, 10.5, I close one eye so I can finish it, right? But if you decide to run 12 kilometer, I will take the time you take to complete 12 kilometer, but on record, you only complete 10.5 kilometer. So you take longer time, right? When you take longer time, of course, it is not to your benefit. So I would suggest, even if you run every day 20 kilometer, at 10.5, please stop your watch, take your record and so on, and then you can continue your remaining of your run, right? So that is very important, right? So you submit that 10.5 at one time. Cut-off time, like I say, is 9 hours, right? So if you get disqualified, you are more than 9 hours, or you tak complete. For example, race 2, that week, you tak sempat buat, tak sempat lari, too bad, right? So it is a strict rules competition. I know some people telling me, hey, it's bulan Ramadan, right? On race 3, race 4 is bulan Ramadan, right? The committee actually discussed about this very elaborately. Right, we have a Muslim, colleagues in our community, right? Collectively, we make a decision saying that, well, I think Ramadan shouldn't affect it that much. So we make the decision to go ahead, although it's, Ramadan month, right? So that decision has been made, right? You can run indoor, you can run outdoor, yeah? You can pakai Strava. If you pakai Strava, you can sync automatically with our system, our platform. If you use any other system, whether it's a treadmill or any other system, when you submit your result, you need to show the date, you need to show the distance, the jarak, yeah, and you need to show the time you take for the run, yeah. That means your walk to, your tarikh, and your jarak. So these 3 must be shown in order to successfully submit your result when you upload. Right, you have until, kalau tak silap, it's 5th of May. Please read the peraturan clearly. 5th of May is the cut-off time. If you tak submit by then, you cannot submit anymore. So all submission, you have to do it by 5th of May. You can submit weekly or you can submit sekaligus. On the 4th of May, you submit sekaligus. It's up to you, right? But don't exceed 5th of May. Yeah. So how we select the champion state is, the top 10 runner in women category. For example, I take the example of Team Penang, yeah? We will show win, yeah? So Team Penang, let's say the top 10 female runner, right? The best time we will take. Top 10 male runner of Penang, kita combine, right? And then we will compare with other state. Yeah, the one has got the least time will become the national champion, right? For example, if Penang state, let's say, female runner katakan tak cukup, yeah, we only got 9 runners. So if 9 runners run that race we will take the time of the 9 runners. Yang tempat kosong itu, we will take in the time of 9 hours, which is the cut-off time. Right? So please encourage more of your friends to run. Kalau tidak, kalau tak cukup 10 orang per category, we will take the maximum time, which is 9 hours. Right? That one, sure, no chance already lah. Yeah. So the national state champion, there will be only one state. Whoever are registered to the state that becomes champion, you will receive our first Marathon League, Malaysia Marathon League gold medal. Yeah, of course, to qualify for the gold medal, there is a bit of a syarat there, right? First is, if you represent the state, of course, now you represent the state, you cannot tukar anymore. Yeah? You know that I'm running Penang, so you all want to tukar Penang, cannot anymore. Yeah, so you cannot change right now, right? So basically, if let's say Penang win, I buy the official tee of Penang. That is the first syarat. I need to be wearing the official tee of Penang. I need to purchase the official tee of Penang, and I need to complete the 42 kilometers successfully. Right? So if I fulfill these dua criteria ini, and then Penang happens to win, right, the medal will be sent to me. Right? If Penang wins, I tak beli dia punya tee, I won't be able to get the medal, but I will still get the champion state certificate. You will download it. Wow. Yeah. So yeah, that is roughly how the race will work. Right, it is very exciting. We can see from the number of participants coming in right now. Right, it is actually the talk of the town right now. Memang semua orang tunggu 5th of April to start running. Yeah. So again, I would like to salute a bit of commercial. Team Penang, please get all your elite runner join. Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Man. Very long about explanation, and I believe it's all the info that we can get from the official website, Marathon Malaysia League. Okay, last but not least, for this third round, we go to Mr. Zulfadhli or Jobak.
Yes.
So, which state will you be running for? And how about the Team Melaka will join with you to be a champion, first national champion in the Marathon Malaysia League? Mr. Zul?
Okay, even though I was born in Penang, but I spend most of my time in Melaka, and my running actually started in Melaka. So Melaka has a good impact to my running journey actually. So definitely I will make sure that our Melaka people, Alu Gajah, Air Keroh will come together and beat Penang, nothing else. And
you have to think of your asal usul, yeah, right? Your roots, right? It's important. You go to Penang.
It's already registered under Melaka, so definitely Melaka will win. And then talking about Ramadan just now, right? As a Muslim I think most of our training actually better in Ramadan, because when we are fasting, our body become lighter and whatnot. And I think for 10 kilometer a week shouldn't be a problem for Muslim. And then this is a good time for those who really want to shed off some kilos from their tummy. This is the best time. You can just run. Our breaking time is around 7, so you just take ngam 1 or 2 hours before breaking. You go run, ngam, you finish, you can break fast. So it's not an issue actually.
Yeah, Mr. Zul, correct. I agree about it. And another word from Melaka, don't mess with Melaka.
Don't mess with Melaka.
Okay. Thank you, all the speakers, with the all explanation for this session. Now, it's a question from the board, from the FB Live. So, if any question, our admin now is picking up the question. So, any then under the sharer, the more sharer you can waiting for our announcement after this for the giveaway. So we pick up your name and please personal message to our admin, and we will contact you for the giveaway. Right. Okay. Before we waiting, the question from our audience. So actually, there is no question. Luckily, we don't have any that question from our audience. Maybe you can still, because this live forum can be view again because we will record it. So the giveaway is the hamper of high five of the high five energy gel. We have two hamper. So after this we announce. So okay, before we announce, we have still have a time about 6 minutes, but I will give 2 minutes to each speaker for the advice on the Marathon Malaysian League. Mr. Buru, can you go first? 2 minutes, yeah. Don't overrun, yeah.
Okay, so thank you, Fairuz. Okay, now looks like there's been a campaign for Penang, and at the same time there are also runners campaigning for Malacca.
Yeah.
So my request is just one: if you register for any state of your choice, the state association will get part of the entry fee from your registration. So at the present situation, all of us are really been hit hard on this. So please help us to register to the state of your choice. I don't want to campaign, even though I'm from Kuala Lumpur. I will say, okay, please help KL to register for KL. No. You select your own state, where you are from or where you love, like what Zul, Penang, originated from Penang, but now he is supporting Malacca. So I'm not doing that. Please register for the state of your choice so that the states association can get some part of the entry fee to keep the association going for the development of athletics in their states. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Muru. Thank you, Mr. Muru. So, because the two speakers is campaign for their state, even though I'm also stay in KL, just we go more for the federal territory. We have Wilayah Kuala Lumpur, we have Pelabuhan, and then we also have Putrajaya. Okay, Mr. Ben, your turn. Two minutes, before we wrap up.
Okay, I think Kuala Lumpur has got a very formidable running team, right? If all of you follow our community, we have we have the world #1 tower running athlete, Mr. So Wai Ching, right? He is running for KL. I'm trying to convince him to come over Penang, but he has registered for KL, right? So I mean, for my end, I got a lot of t-shirt. So mungkin I can change to KL or Penang or Malacca, depending on who the favorites are. So anyway, jokes aside, I hope everybody would have fun. Yeah, because this league is created for during pandemic, all of us are mentally also a bit down, right? So it was created for fun. It is created to create and instill back the healthy lifestyle that we all has been yearning for, right? At the same time, it is also to help the industry because everybody in the industry is actually right now suffering, right? So part of it is like Mr. Muru says, is fundraising, right? Please help your respective state association. Please do our part as to keep the running community alive, right? So I just want to say, everybody, please have fun. Yeah, it's created for you guys.
Okay, Mr. Ben, thanks. But is better don't change your t-shirt. Even though you have a lot of t-shirt there, so better you stick to Penang. Even though we already imported the Penang runners. Okay, Mr. Zul, your last start for before we wrap.
Although I registered for Malacca, but I must respect lah, because we used to run in KL because most of the events are in KL, right? All this while. But when I go to certain state like Kelantan or Sarawak, right, then there you will see all those talent, there are so many fast runners coming from there. So we might be surprised from runners from Kelantan, which has been not, they don't come to KL for events, but when you go to their site, then you'll be surprised. If in KL you can get top 10, top 20, you go there, it's like you're not even in the top range anymore. So we must be prepared for those runners as well.
Yeah.
And hopefully, since it will be in Ramadan month as well, so hopefully runner will run safe and try to, you know, jaga SOP lah. We cannot afford the 10,000 ringgit.
Okay, thank you. Even though, thank you everybody. So we will announce the more sharer in our Facebook page. Give me some time. Just leave it time. Oh, luckily tonight don't have a sharer on our live, and then we will bring up the giveaway to the next session. Okay, thank you everyone. We will see you at the next session, and don't forget to register Marathon Malaysia League. Run for your state. Kita jaga kita. Thank you everyone. Good night. See you again.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.